Okay guys, one of today's projects is moving this 69 Bug into the shop, and I figured why not try and do it under its own power. Now, I parked this car here about a month ago, so it does run, but prior to that I pulled it out of a back alley in Idaho Falls and it hadn't ran for 2 or 3 years. So it ran, but it didn't run great, and yeah, it's now pretty buried. Believe it or not, we've received all this snow, mostly January. It snowed again last night. It's February 3rd now, but this is just ridiculous. I mean, we've got snow clear up to the middle of the driver's side window, and it's packed in here pretty tight. But like I said, let's see if we can just using a few things we've got laying around. Obviously we'll dig out around the back here, but first of all we'll see if we can get it to fire, and then see if we can get it to move. My guess is it's really not going to want to move. Check out the snow. Let's walk around the front of this thing. This will be next. This bus needs a motor, but first things first, we're gonna get this little 69 done, or at least when I say done, I mean look at that thing. That is some serious snow, some serious drifting. This little car is, yeah, it's stuck pretty good. But let's see if we can get it fired up and get the snow cleared off of it. We'll move it in the shop. This car is going to be for sale. It's a very dry car, came out of California a few years ago. Engine was rebuilt, and then it really wasn't driven a whole lot after that. It's a pretty solid little car. Has some dents on the roof and some dents on the hood. I don't know what caused those, but really pretty decent little project. But let's get it dug out, and then we'll take a closer look at it. Plan is to get it in on the lift and just give you guys a look at the underside of it and see what we're dealing with. Let's get going. So, first things first, I know the key works on the driver's door, but the key doesn't seem to want to work on the passenger door. I believe it's like so. Oh, I think we're gonna have to go in through the driver's side. Bummer. Oh, this side's so deep. Oh, there we go. We got it. Now, if we can get the door to actually open. No way. So yeah, I'll show you guys what we're dealing with here. This, a week or so ago, we got some really warm days, and so everything, if you don't spend a lot of time around snow, I guess you won't understand this, but the snow gets really wet and starts to melt, and then when it gets cold again, it just becomes like ice. So you see this right here. I mean, up here on top, you got this nice fluffy stuff. Down here on the bottom, we're dealing with just full-on ice. So the chances of us driving this thing out of here are pretty slim. Basically, I'm gonna have to dig down very carefully. The snow's just drifted in around the body and then just frozen. So I need to get all this ice cleared out of here, and then we maybe get this door to open. What a mess. We're in. See if we have any power. We got power. Let's see if we can get fire. I'm gonna move you guys around the other side. All right, looks like jump box time. Let me get the jump box set up. All right, so let me show you what we're dealing with today on the jump box. Today I'm trying out this new DSR Pro Series. I've had a few of these. My last one, I actually lost. I left it sitting on my trailer and it fell off. And it was getting pretty old. It was 3 or 4 years old anyway. It was still a great box though. Okay, so this box is obviously a lot bigger setup than a lot of the smaller boxes you're seeing online. This thing's actually a glass mat battery inside. It's pretty heavy, but this thing gets the job done. Our battery cables aren't the greatest. They need a little bit of work, but we could basically run this car off of this box without any battery. So anyhow, let's looks like our battery is from 2016, but one nice thing about this box is it'll actually display the voltage of the battery. Right now we're like 11.8, which you'd think it'd be doing a better job of cranking it over than it is, but we just kick this over to 12 volt there. It turns the box on, energizes the cables, and we're ready to crank on this thing. See if we can make it run. All right, time to pop this thing open, see what's going on. See if we can figure out why we're not firing. There we go. Not too bad. So, go grab a screwdriver. Actually, I don't need a screwdriver. Just pop this right off. See if we get the fuel. Doesn't look like we're getting any fuel right now. Might be empty. You can kind of smell fuel, but we're not getting any. Pull this over. We'll grab some fuel and prime this carburetor, fill the bowl up, see if we can get it to fire that way. Alright, we're going to throw a little fuel in this thing. Ooh, look at that. These guys, I really dislike these guys. They wreak havoc with my beehives. Gonna put about a gallon in here for now. And I've got a little that we can prime the carb with as well. Whoa. I should have grabbed a little bit bigger funnel. And I got a couple things got to look at here. One is, I was noticing on the top of this carburetor that this brass fitting was pretty loose. Let me show you this too. Look at this fuel line. Fuel line is pretty cracked up there. You can see that. So figure we'll just throw a fuel line on here real quick and just kind of give this brass fitting a tap back in. So I'm going to swap out fuel line and we'll prime this carb, see if we can get this thing to fire up. Alright, so I'm going to use this is kind of a handy little tool. You can actually pick these up at an auto body paint store, usually used for like cleaning paint guns and stuff. If you come in through the top of the carburetor in this vent, you can actually fill the bowl up. There it is. So now the bowl's full. You can actually run the car just off of the bowl for, I don't know, a short period of time. gonna go grab this phone call. There we go. We'll see if we can fire this up. All right, let's see if we can make it run. It's alive. Now it's time to, well, I'll tell you what, just for fun, let's see if it'll move. I seriously doubt it. We'll reposition over here, see if this thing will claw its way out of here. If not, we might have to get some help with traction. Let's give it a try. What the heck? Well, that actually moved a little bit farther than I figured it was going to. I'm gonna clear out this snow here. We're gonna throw the max tracks under the back tires, obviously. And I think with just a little bit of help from the max tracks, this thing's probably gonna pop right out. Okay guys, I got the max track set. Let me show you real quick. Kind of dug out at the bottom here. Hopefully these tires will drag them under. See if we can get up on top of those max tracks and get out of this hole we're in. See if the old Beetle can self-recover. Here's the problem. We're actually missing a board. And I'm guessing, oh man. We got something crazy going on down the road. Here's our leash. So that track is clear up underneath here. There's the end of it. There's no getting that out. We're gonna have to dig a little more. Have to shut this thing off. Probably need to free up the front tires a little bit. Do some digging, and there's just too much snow behind these front tires. Whew! Yeah, that's crazy though. That puts the front of this Max Trax probably right behind this front tire. So first things first, we'll dig this out and pull this track, this Max Trax out, and then we'll clear up the other front tire. Got something crazy going on down the road. That's about the 4th emergency vehicle to go by. All right guys, let me do some digging. I'll be back.
Progress. What's that?
Can't get out.
Oh.
The door's got snow on the other side of it.
Sweet.
Woo!
So close. Okay, this is it, man. Okay, here goes.
Okay, so what we're dealing with up here on the front end, I've got a tow bar on this thing, and it's just completely digging into the ground. There's so much snow on the front of this bug. So since I have other things to do today besides fart around with this bug, we're gonna take the easy way out and drag this thing out of here. Let's do it. All right, so the little Beetle wasn't able to pull itself out, so we got the beat up Land Cruiser here, and we're just gonna yank it out nice and slow. Perfect. That's a fair amount of snow right there. This car is easily sitting. Look how low this car is sitting. This is a stock height car. It's almost low enough for old Kyle. Turn these wheels. That's a stock height car, and it is. See what I mean by our tow bar? Tow bar is just on the ground. It was just digging in there. High centering. There was no way we were getting out of there. I guess we could have tried removing the tow bar, but like I said, I do have a couple other things I need to do today. So well guys, I knocked off a lot of the snow, nowhere near enough, and I think at this point we're just gonna let this thing thaw out overnight, and I'll hit you guys with a decent walk around on it tomorrow. But my initial impressions of this car was that it's pretty dry. It does have some does have a few dents along the roof and also the hood, the bonnet, but pretty dry underneath. But tomorrow we'll get it up on the lift, take a closer look at it, and again, this car will be for sale. Seems to run pretty good. Probably needs carb gone through a little bit, and probably, you know, just minor tune-up stuff. So we'll go through and do some of that, get this thing ready for sale. If you're in the market for a, you know, 69 Beetle driver, you know, a little bit of a project cosmetically, but mechanically it feels pretty good. We'll know a little more after we dig into it. But thanks for watching, guys. We will catch you later.